Alexa, play ambient space music.
Here's a station you might like. Ambient on Amazon Music.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Good morning, everybody. Hey, Lavola, Donna, Big T. And you're watching. Nessa says, my wife and I saw a ship 2 weeks ago. It was amazing, so exciting to start contact. Let's see, Nessa, we're going to follow you. Nessa, I would like you to be a guest on our show. You're an indigo child, raising vibrations every day, peace, love, and light only. So, Nessa, if you accept my request, in a few minutes we're going to be doing interviews. I'd like to have you come on my show. Hey, Rachel, one Toyota, thank you. You're watching Encounters. This is the morning edition. A little bit shorter than the nighttime edition. Linda, good to see you. We'll be on till about 10:15. It's not going to be my longest show ever, but we are here with you. Welcome all the new people to Encounters. It is the #1 late night spiritual UFO talk show. Usually we're on at 11 p.m. So if you're watching us for the first time, welcome. You're going to experience a show that's usually out of this world. Just to give you some background of myself, I'm a radio talk show host for 21 years, still going strong on WESUFM.org, NPR Pacifica Radio, called The Cosmic Eye, Ashtar Command Radio Show. I also came out of the closet when I was a kid, when I had my physical encounter with the space people. After that, I eventually came out of the closet and said I was from Mars. Then I went underground with that until I got older. Then 21 years ago, on my radio show on NPR Radio, I told people and came out of the closet saying I'm from Mars, I'm a starseed, I'm not from this planet. Although I am human, my consciousness is more than just regular human consciousness. Alexa, lower the volume. And so I have a multitude of things that are integrated in my consciousness. I work with the Ashtar Command directly. So I'm not your normal talk show host on UFOs. I'm not a nuts and bolts kind of guy. I don't talk about the size of what is the spaceship made of, and that's it. That'd be pretty boring if that's all I talked about was how many seats were in the spaceship, how many controls were in the spaceship. It gets old pretty quick. What I'm about is disclosure, busting the matrix, and having people share their experiences with contact, having sightings of spaceships from all over the world that are people having these things happening right now. So as you get to watch my show, you'll get to see that the show is what it is, and #1 for what it is because of the things that I talk about and my background also being a contactee. Many of these UFO shows, some of them are just people that are, journalists that have a background in journalism that want to do shows on UFOs. Me, I'm a contactee. I'm from off planet from Mars, which has a population of 10 to 15 million inhabitants. And hey, Chesno, good to see you. Mars happens to be a planet that has oxygen. Believe it or not, Mars has oxygen on its planet, and people are able to breathe and go on the surface of Mars. Mars did have a problem millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of years ago with technology that they were using. But Mars is a planet that is got an atmosphere, a blue sky. It's a planet that is where people can come onto the surface of the planet, and the people on planet Mars are very spiritual, very connected to Source. Unlike on Earth, Mars is a completely opposite of our planet, completely different. And so, welcome to the morning edition of Encounters, a professional UFO spiritual talk show. This is not like any other TikTok. We actually are a show, so we don't have people bumping heads into each other, yelling and screaming over each other. There's enough of that. I've seen it. But so welcome to our program. And I'd like to interview the person that had the sighting 2 weeks ago to start our show. Let me see, where is she? Hey, Wendy. I'll go backwards and I'll see if I can get her. Let's see. Hey, Purple. Nessa, that's the person, Nessa. Nessa, I'm inviting you on to Encounters, and all you have to do is accept the request button to come on the show. If you're still here with us. I know some people are shy, they're not shy about the commenting, but coming on live. Feel free to come on with us. Nessa77, where are you? Let's see if we can get her on here. Manjot Sidhu. So ET contact, right now, the timeline originally was 27, 28. The timeline now is late 2025 into 2026. NMX777, Maine. Good morning. Oh, thank you, Chesno. And I really would appreciate the Cash App donations. Once you watch my show, if you feel you can do the Cash App, we appreciate it. And also, we'll set our goals for TikTok. And my goal on TikTok is galaxies this morning. So we've actually added that. I don't know what is dry throat this morning, but I do have the apple cider. Oh, thank you. Thank you for sending the gift. Cindy, thank you. We appreciate everybody here. We appreciate all the new people finding our show for the first time. Welcome. And you can also watch our show, our big show, at 11 o'clock at night on TikTok, #1 spiritual UFO talk show. We have some more apple cider here. Get the frog out of my throat. I think we got it out there. Ginger tea. Thank you, Greg. Greg, good morning. Good morning, brother. So, Cindy, thank you for the bracelet. We appreciate the gift so much. Thank you. Eva, welcome to the show. Cindy, thank you for the best team gift. Thank you. And if you want to be interviewed on the show, and you've had direct encounters with space people, or you're having incredible UFO sightings around the world, wherever you are, this is the rules of my show. You have to be over 18, no kids on the show on the camera, no cursing, no foul language, no drinking, no smoking, no vaping, none of that stuff, no paranormal discussion. There's plenty of other places on YouTube and TikTok for that. We're strictly focused on the cosmic, galactic, spiritual levels of the subject matter. So yeah, there you go. And we'd be happy to hear your stories. Let's see here. We'd be happy to hear your stories. So please join us this morning, if you can. I'm just sending some invites here to people, because we know they're out there. So we just sent a few invites. I do that. I have a whole bunch of people on my list, and I know who they are. Cindy, Mitch, thank you for the roses. I appreciate that. Here on Encounters, the #1 spiritual UFO talk show. And hopefully between now and 10:15, we'll be able to interview some people that are contactees, meaning if you don't know what a contactee, and you might be one, that you've had contact physically with space people. Okay. If you're an abductee, we want to hear your stories too. They're just as important. If you're recording and documenting UFO, non-terrestrial spaceship activity in your area of the world, let us know about it. We want to hear your story. If you're a person in the government that has top secret information or information regarding the government's knowledge of extraterrestrial intelligence, and you want to come on the show, you're welcome to do that too. We have had people that were high security clearance people that have come on our show from time to time. and this is the show they chose to provide that information. Keith, thank you for the follow. A Voice of One, welcome to the show. Usually in the evening we have anywhere from 250 to 300 people watching our show. It's very popular, and we're hoping to try to do some morning shows here. Thank you for the follow. We appreciate it. I think it's Ger McCulley, 99. Hey, Mercury Man, good to see you. And I can tell you that there's a lot of stuff going on around the planet. So maybe you're not aware of a lot of things. I don't assume everybody knows what's happening out here watching my show. But there is a lot going on above you. There's a lot of activity going on that has nothing to do with reverse engineer technology, although we do have our own reverse engineer technology, and many of the countries use it, and people mistaken it for non-terrestrial spaceships. But it's technology that was given to us by negative ETs in return for them being, over for the past 70 years, able to abduct humans. On the other part of it, there are galactic forces that are coming here from beyond Earth. You're going to start seeing a lot of activity now as we go into the ending of 2024 and in the beginning of 2025. Look to 2025. Thank you for the gift, Darlene. Look at the year 2025 into 2026 as very important years. Those 2 years right there will be extremely important. If you're paying attention, it'll be important. If you're not paying attention, you might think that nothing's happening. So you need to pay attention. You need to get centered. You need to focus on what's happening up above you. Unless you're driving a car on an interstate highway, please do not look up. Just look straight ahead, right? So in 2022, Darren Anka, who's well known, he's been around before there was anything called the internet or Facebook or anything. Darren Anka is a contactee with a being called Bashar. Bashar is a being from the Essassani civilization. Back in 2022, he produced some videos with Bashar stating that there was going to be contact in 2027. So I went within my own meditation, because I don't channel anything. I don't do any of that stuff. I have direct link-ups to the Ashtar command through my consciousness, telepathic communications. And I just proceeded to see if there was other things happening. Then a former person in the CIA, I don't remember, I saw the video a couple months ago. This person was very knowledgeable, former CIA, says that they know that there is going to be contact. The government knows that there's going to be contact coming soon. And he mentioned the year 2027. Same thing that Bashar had stated with Darren Anka. So then I started really meditating a lot about this. And then I started seeing correlations in a few different people with the year 2027. Then when I went in my own meditations, I was getting 2027. Then when we were in touch with the Ashtar command, which we've been in touch with very clearly, with my friend April in Vermont, who's been on the spaceships over 50 times, they gave us confirmation that contact would be happening in a year and a half from now. So we're looking at the end of, or the 2025 towards the middle, toward the end of the major things starting to happen. 2026 would be the year that potentially the contact would happen. Unless the government does some stupid things, which they've been doing, to try to delay the contact. And the government is doing some stupid things to try to stop the contact. And it might slightly delay it, not because the space people want to delay contact with us. It's because our government's working with negative ETs, trying to prevent all-out contact. They are afraid of it. They don't want to see it happen. I will tell you, in my infinite wisdom, that there's nothing in the next 2025, 2026, there's nothing that any government can do to stop contact. And the views I'm expressing here, I have the right to express in a so-called democracy. Just in case I'm being monitored. The things I'm saying here, I have the right to say. You know, I'm not using any foul language. I'm not running around naked. I'm not doing anything illicit. I am speaking the truth. And I meditated this morning and said, should I say this? Because I know it happened to me the other night. Some of you were there when it happened. But I'm going to go full force here. I'm speaking English, my language. I'm speaking properly, and I'm stating facts. I don't have any websites to state the facts. I don't need them. I don't need any former military officials to come on here and tell me what's going to happen. So I'm just going to go out and do it. People need to get ready now. You know, I want to say that loud and clear. People need to be informed. People need to, what's happening is, people need to know the truth. There's going to be a lot of misinformation videos that are going to be presented of spaceships that are AI generated by people that are creators. And people are going to think they are, wow, that's really cool. That's a spaceship. There's going to be old footage that people are going to throw on and claim it's theirs, that it's, you know, new footage and you need to look at it. I'm aware, because I'm a journalist, because my background's news media and I studied journalism. I'm really tuned in when I see fake videos on YouTube or here. I'll make a comment to the poster and say, why are you posting something that was from 5 years ago and saying it's new? I just saw a video this morning, matter of fact. It was AI generated. I know who the creator is. And he was honest to tell me what it was. It looked really interesting. It looked like a bunch of spaceships, and then it was getting to be nightfall, and there was like the sun setting. And that whole thing was a fake AI generated CGI video that looks really good. You know, like really captivating. But it's not real. You see? Darling Brittany, how do we prepare? The best thing people can do is learn how to be silent, go into meditation with the word you or om, center themselves, clear their consciousness out, shut their brain off. You know, we always work with our brain all the time. Shut our brain off. And by that, I mean go within the center of your being. And by doing that, close your eyes, take some deep breaths, breathe out your nostrils, relax, 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 and then tune into Christ consciousness. What is Christ consciousness? I'll explain it. Thank you, Cindy. Christ consciousness is different than just human 3D consciousness. Christ consciousness is a consciousness that our space brothers and sisters operate on. If we can elevate our consciousness to a Christ consciousness, then we are at the same vibrational patterns as the star people. But many humans are not at that level of Christ consciousness because we're so involved in earth-based 3D world stuff. Okay? We are. We're all human. Even the most spiritual of us. We're having human experience, right? We are. So the best way people can get ready for direct contact on Earth is to go within and meditate every day. I don't care if it's 20 minutes a day, if it's 30 minutes a day. Make an effort, whether you go to a little park, whether you go out in the woods somewhere, where you're on top of a mountain, whether you're at that empty beach, find a space for yourself to do that, okay? You need to. Because contact is coming. Whether the media wants me to say this or not, whether social media wants me to say this or not, I am going to say this because I need to. I'm not going to be silenced. I was almost silenced the other night, but I knew I didn't do anything wrong, you know, except tell the truth. And let me also state this very clearly to the people of Earth, to everybody. Space people have been coming to this planet for billions of years. This planet is billions and billions of years old. Now, in school, in science classes and astronomy classes and classes about space science, they don't talk about this stuff. They talk about science. They don't talk about the history of visitation on Earth. The teachers don't either know about it or they don't talk about it, you know? It's important for people to know about this stuff. That's why I'm here. That's why this show is what it is. Because I am telling people the truth. And I am passing information that's going to bust the matrix, is going to shake up the world body, in a sense, in the way we operate as a planet. And we have to. We have to change. We can't continue living the way we've been living. And the narrative is changing. It has to. The people that are controlling the narrative for 70 years, they're not in control of it anymore. They think they are. Would you believe, and I don't need to know this for a fact, that there's infighting in world governments in the structure of similar pentagons? The Pentagon in the U.S., similar to the Pentagon that would be in England. They all have their pentagons, all these countries. And there is a fighting between generations about telling the truth. The old generals don't want to tell the truth. They want to keep everything under the lid, and they're working with those people that have the power and the money. And the industry and the people in the industry of space technology don't want to tell the truth because they're making money off of the cover-up. You see? That's the truth. I don't need a website to take you to get there. I am the website. What I'm saying is I'm fully activated, motivated, and telling you what you need to know. And don't trust any of your politicians around the world. Don't put your hope in a person as being a politician as your God. I don't care who they are. They're not. They're human beings that are fallible, and they're human beings that are part of the problem of the cover-up. And if every politician and every government in the world wanted the truth, they would have told you that years ago. So don't put your apples in one basket. What I'm telling you is liberate yourself from that. Focus on contact. Focus on spiritual enlightenment. Focus on elevating yourself to the highest possible level you can. And if you're willing to do that, I guarantee you, you will see the things that you are not seeing now. It's just the way it is. The veil has been lifted. And that's the thing they don't like. They don't control the veil. The governments don't control the veil. The veil has been lifted because the vibrational pattern of the Earth and the whole solar system in our galaxy is all the planets are elevated at the same time. It's not our planet is special versus another planet. Mars, Venus, all the planets in our solar system, other solar systems, in our galaxy and other galaxies are all going through a transformation. Okay? Kenny Nash says he's made contact in 1977. And Kenny Nash, we're going to bring you up, I think, to do an interview. You says, I've seen spaceships land. You is another person. So this is going to be interesting. So I think I'm going to, being the moderator, host of the show, I'm going to bring Kenny up first. Then I'm going to bring you. You stick around here. I'll bring you up second. And this is what we do here. My regular show's on at 11 p.m. here on the East Coast. So please join us at night. That's my big show. It's on most nights. I might take a night off once in a while because sometimes you need to, take a night off for yourself. But that's my big show. So we're going to understand you have to be over 18, no kids on the show, no cursing whatsoever, and no paranormal discussion, no drinking, no whatever, no smoking, none of that stuff. So let's see who we got here. I'm going to bring Kenny up here. Where's Kenny? So Kenny will be our first guest. Let me just do this here.
Hey, good morning. Can
Welcome
you hear me?
to the show, Kenny.
Hey, thank you for
Yes,
having
I can.
me.
And good,
Awesome.
welcome.
Awesome. I'm
Tell
gonna
us
make
where you're from. Well,
Well,
tell
I
us.
was born-
Our audience is all over the place. So
Okay. To everybody around the world, I was born and raised in Memphis in 1997, and I was born in 65 and 59. I was born and raised in Memphis. I was there until 1997, and I was around the entertainment industry starting around 88. One of my first best friends drove for the Presley family, so I was around a lot of entertainment, and I noticed then a lot of they want to say paranormal and stuff. You can Google my name, Kenny Nash. I actually live in a non-disclosed location now. But once your eyes open, you have to be prepared for it. And a lot of people aren't around anymore, especially if you look at the entertainment industry. And many people in the industry that make contact aren't here anymore because once you start sharing your message, and I do, like I said, I send a healing light around you. But I left Memphis in 97 and got in the flight industry. That was the closest thing I could get to is to get up in the sky because I had a lot of, like I said, you have visions and stuff. Once you make contact, what I want to make it easier for people now, I went in aviation 11 years in entertainment. You can Google me. And I was blackballed for I wasn't trying to give the message, but I noticed the times when I was in the studio, the vibrations and the frequency from recording, and I recorded over 5 albums, but you never heard of me because I was blackballed. You make more contact, and they've got our signals so jammed now with everything, these phones, the emergency broadcast system, all that. But I want to make it simple, but just if people can disconnect for a minute and get back outside and stuff. Where I live now, I live in the mountains and desert. I've lived all over the country. I moved 15 times because there are certain people that don't want us to educate others. But you can follow a lot of my stuff. But like I said, once you open your eyes, they're here. I've got pictures of just a ship sitting on the beach a month ago in Laguna Beach. A friend of mine sent me the picture. He didn't see it, but he sent me a picture of the beach, and it was an area where nobody was. And I've got the picture. I didn't expose it because it's coming soon. And what you're saying, like I said, mine. Like I said, you can Google Kenny Nash and see mine. And the message is in the music, and that's why I've been blackballed. But everyone that's frustrated and can't see it, trust me, it's there. But you're so jammed up with the signals right now, coming through your TVs, through your phones, through your music. And go back to a lot of the older music, Children of the Sun, Fantasy, Aldo Nova, but it's there. But
tell us about, Kenny, tell us about your contacts. Tell us about the spaceships and what's that. People
I've
want
seen
to know.
it. I personally don't think, I think I was abducted one time. I was living out in South Florida. I lived on the beach. When you live on the ocean, you see a lot more. I lived directly in the ocean for 3 years. And I had one time I came back unconscious, and I had a cut on my elbow, and the next day I had a person from the Army at my house asking me questions from a medical advisor. But I have gone off the grid. Like I said, I've moved several times. I live in the desert and the mountains now. And people that are frustrated, don't be frustrated, because once your eyes open, but right now we're running like a bunch of mice. They've got us running. But I was around it from 88. I'm 59 now. And no one's going to make this kind of stuff up. No one's going to make this up. But what's happening now, people are getting pictures, especially with the newer phones. The phones will pick them up, these phone cameras.
Oh, yeah, they are.
You'll get UFOs in the pictures. And once you open your eyes, trust me, they won't be shut again. But
and a lot of my listeners, a lot of my viewers, I have a lot of contactees since I've been on here since 2023. I've been on radio for 21 years. I know people like Dr. Frank Stranges. If you ever heard of him, he died. He was in contact with Valiant Thor. And I was good friends with Frank Stranges. And so that was back in the 60s. That was the early contactees in Giant Rock. If people study the history, people are not afraid anymore. 30 years later, people are running. I can tell you, people are now standing up. I find it in my show. People are being bold. They're coming out of the closet. The government's afraid of us. We have nothing to be afraid of. I've been a talk show host in media for years. And I can tell people on my show, I have no fear. I work with the Ashtar Command. I came from off planet, and I came out of the closet years ago. So I love having people like yourself on here coming out of the closet, sharing your stories, because we have nothing to fear, folks, because now we're the ones who are in control, not the Pentagon or the Ministry of Defense. We are the ones in control.
It's not really scary. It's lonely because there's only, I call it PLUs, people like us. And as a flight attendant at the time, the people in aviation, you'll be amazed, because we're flying 38,000 feet in the air, and there's so many people. But I told a girl one day, there's only 1% like us. We call it PLU. She said, "Oh, honey, it's like 0.0001%." But I won't say on how. But it's just refreshing to find you. It is a lonely life. But the people that are frustrated and can't see it, because I even posted a picture of JFK getting what happened to him in Dallas in '63. I said, we can get a picture of this, but we can't get a clear picture of a UFO. Well, by God, I got my answer the next day, because I got it on photograph. Yeah. But listen, thank you. Like I said, you can if you just Google Kenny Nash, you'll see what happened to me, and it blew up. But I do live off the grid now until we can find more people like yourself. So I send you energy, because I worry. Like I said, I'm not scared at all. I'm not scared of.
No, I'm not worried. Let me tell you something. I am so well protected by my space family.
That's where I'm at.
Worry. The people that are the negative government people, they're afraid of me. They're afraid of me. I'm not afraid of anything.
The veil's been lifted. And like I said, I got a friend who's 77. She's amazing. And she's she's in Florida. And she flew for Pan Am. And she's been telling me all this stuff 25 years ago. She's like my space mom. But listen, I love you. I appreciate you. And
thank you, man.
I'm listening more people up. But like I said, there's so much. But once the people are listening, if you're frustrated, don't be. Clear your mind. Get outside with nature. Get outside. Get out at night. Take some pictures of the sky and stuff. Trust me, they've always been there. They're there. They're there. Yeah, but listen, thank you. Have a great day. And I appreciate it. Like I said, just Google Kenny Nash. Follow some of my music. I put as much as I could in the music. So thank you so much. Okay. I'm gonna step down.
We
Thank
appreciate
you.
you, man.
Thank
You're
you.
a friend of the tribe. Thank you for being
Thank you
here,
so
man. We
much. Thank you.
appreciate
It's
it.
so refreshing. Thank you.
Okay, Kenny Nash. And let's see, who's going to be my next guest? Let me see here. Good morning, Willie. And I want to know right now, let me ask this question. I always ask this on my nighttime show. How many people are having contact out there who've never been on my show before? How many people are having contact right now, a physical contact? Anybody? Be honest. Don't be afraid. I'm 58 and I have seen UFO my entire life. Cindy Mitch. Darren Steele says they're having contact. I'm going to do Darren Steele, and then we'll do Cindy. Darren Steele. We're going to follow Darren. Darren, if you'll come up on the show, I'm CmdrAleon, the host of Encounters, the known spiritual UFO talk show. We'd love to have you on talking about contact. Darren Steele, you've been just invited on the #1 show here on social media. Let's see, he'll be a #2 guest. Welcome, Darren. Welcome to the show.
Hello, good to be here.
And whereabouts are you located?
I'm in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Oh, great. And can you tell us about your experiences when it started? I think our worldwide audience would be interested.
Yeah, I've been really kind of paying attention to it about probably the last 6 months, but every time I go outside in the evening time or when it's night, I'm always looking up at the stars and stargazing and stuff. And my backyard, when I go out, I kind of have pretty much all of them memorized. So anything that's not in the norm, makes me think it's got to be a satellite, a plane if it's blinking light, or if it's solid light, could be like a UFO or spaceship or something. So I start recording them. And this one experience I had a couple of weeks ago where I set my phone to record, and I had some other things I was going to do. So I was wanting to, see them exit, where they fly out real quick, where they just kind of disappear.
Right.
And so I was trying to catch that. And I don't know, probably been about 15, 20 minutes goes by, and I came back and I looked at my phone, and I looked up at the sky, and I was like, oh, they're not there anymore. So I was like, oh, good, I caught them. So I went to get my phone and started watching the recording. And I kid you not, like right before they take off, I mean, I'm assuming because they're not there, so it sounded like a dart, like a, I don't know, boom. It sounded like some sort of,
like a
sound. And
swishing
then
sound. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I hear like footsteps and like kind of the twigs like twinkling around where I had my phone set up at. And then all of a sudden my phone just moves, like where I didn't even get the shot, like they just move it or something. And I thought that was the weirdest thing. And then
this is interesting. So when you say so I'm going to put this in context. I read energy and I read everything when I hear the stories. So your camera's on the ground level, correct?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got it on video.
When you say I'm going to take part by part, you have some very interesting things. I can't just keep going without asking you questions because you're saying things that are really interesting. They move the camera. Can you tell me who they are?
Well, I'm assuming they're, with the Galactic Confederation. They're one of the, probably Ashtar Command, or it's one of those. I'm assuming probably one of them. And I heard they kind of like to play around and stuff. I'm kind of assuming maybe, and I'm always calling them, like when I go outside, I'm always like, do a flyby, or I'm trying to, get them to come by and stuff.
So you're able to, what's the word? You're able to bring the ships in. You're able to, in your consciousness, you'll say, I want to see you when they're there, correct? Yeah,
I mean, pretty much. I mean, they might not be in the same spot, but they'll make appearance, a little flash at me. Like, kind of like a blink, so.
You're having telepathic communications with space people.
That's cool,
Do you know that?
I didn't. I mean, I kind of, just listen to your show and I hear people in there talking, so I just kind of take the advice and I go out and do it.
Well, if you're able to make that happen, I'm going to give you some information. Now you'll know. You're telepathic. You're not consciously aware of it, but you're unconsciously telepathic, meaning you're communicating because you want to have them show their ships. So they're responding to you through your consciousness and say, here we are. And you record it. You're telepathic. That's a beautiful thing, man. Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see them. And I know they're going to be, making more of themselves known as we go along, and I just want to embrace them and welcome them to helping us out and all that kind of stuff. So.
And if they're moving your camera, that means that they could be physically cloaked on the ground and moving your camera.
Right.
Do
Yeah,
you
and I got
realize
the
that?
sound. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of cool the way the sound came in, and I wasn't even near my phone when that happened, so nobody was around. It was just me, and then so I mean, there's no way it could just move by itself like that. So
Right.
I mean, it was
And
really
there was
cool.
no wind or anything blowing or
No wind,
Okay.
nothing. And I have it up. It was actually propped up on a brick, so the brick moved and
Really
everything.
interesting.
Yeah.
No, you're definitely. You can ask them this galactic level who they are. You should ask, beyond the fact that you know how to communicate with them, say, can you please show your spaceships? I want you to do this. This is going to be your cosmic homework,
Okay.
Darren. And I want you to ask them who they are. I want you to
Okay.
ask them where they're from.
Okay.
I think that's perfectly fine. I don't feel any negative things. I think it's all good. But ask them where
Okay.
they're from.
Okay.
You have that ability because you were unconsciously telepathic. You didn't know you had the ability to be telepathic, but you really are, which is a beautiful thing. You really are.
Awesome. Yeah.
Hey, Darren.
Anyway,
I want to thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having the show. I really enjoy it, and I'm always trying to listen to it as much as I can. So appreciate
Well, we
you.
appreciate you. We appreciate you, brother. Thank you for sharing your information too.
All right. Thank
Let
you.
me just do this here. You're welcome. And we're going to do a few more interviews here. And let's see, who's the other person that had the sightings? Let me go back to that person. Let's see. We hope to get Ness on here too. Let's see. Who was the person? She said he or she. I'm going backwards. Oh, yeah. Francis says I've seen two. I'm not sure who the person was here. Mental contact. I'm going back to see who the original. Oh, Cindy Mitch. I'm 58. I've seen UFOs my entire life. Cindy Mitch. Cindy, you're the third guest. I'm very excited to hear your story. Cindy Mitch. I'm 58 and I've seen UFOs my entire life. Cindy Mitch, come on up. Where's Cindy Mitch? Just press the accept button or go to the multi-guest option. Cindy Mitch, where are you? We want to get Cindy Mitch up here. And you're watching the #1 nighttime UFO talk show called Encounters, spiritual talk show, doing some morning shows this morning. Cindy, good morning. How are you?
Hello, I'm good, and I live in Pennsylvania, and
Okay.
I've had many different sightings my whole life. I really haven't, that I'm aware of, had physical contact with them. To be quite honest, my whole life I was intrigued by them, and many different shapes, kinds. I've seen them in the sky, and I'll be watching them, and they'll disappear and then reappear again. About
Interesting.
3 years ago, I lived in a place that the ships became so abundant in the sky around me that I really, to be honest, became quite frightened.
Okay.
And this location, there was a huge natural pond, and I really kind of thought maybe they were getting some power from that water, is what I really thought. And a ship, they would come, I had pine trees. They would come so low, I thought they would hit the pine trees.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And in my yard appeared a circular shaped burn mark that was like 4 feet around. I had pictures of it. I don't know that I have them anymore.
Yeah.
After this occurred, I'm assuming that that was from the ship. I did not see the ship land and leave that mark. I want to make that clear. like my flowers and plants wouldn't even grow. We
Really?
fish, and I couldn't even get night crawlers in the yard anymore. And the
Is
whole
that
yard
after
there,
the
yes, after I'm assuming craft landed. I'm going to say assuming
yeah.
because I didn't see it. And that burn mark stayed for a long time in the yard. And the whole yard was like, kind of like, you could hear water running in under the yard because the yard fed the spring. It was all filled. We had caddy nines in our yard, and it fed that huge pond. And by the house was a stream and a like little house where the spring water come from, and this was all natural
Okay.
water from up on the hill. And the
Now,
sightings
Cindy,
was just like,
when the burn marks happen, usually I know about the burn marks when a spaceship lands with burn marks. Usually that is a lower vibrational spacecraft. Did you check for any radiation activity on the ground?
I know it like burnt the grass, stuff like that. I
Yeah.
don't know how you
Yeah.
check for radiation active. And
Yeah.
even the bird, we didn't have birds in the area before that. We had birds, and you know what I mean? Like the birds
Yeah.
weren't even around.
Yeah, that's So the way you check for radiation, you can go to there's stores that sell you can get an inexpensive radiation detector device. So I've studied the history of these flying saucer craft or spaceships that land and create burn marks, and when they do that, all the life forms around it are affected, including vegetation, flowers. Did you find that the vegetation and animal life were not there anymore after that happened?
Yes, exactly. Even like it was located around a ringneck farm. Where they had ringnecks, and the ringnecks didn't come in our yard. Like I said, no birds. The deer were still there, but not as abundant as before. It just was such a terrible dread, is what I want to say. With what
No,
I moved, I'm going to be quite honest. I moved, so
you left the area because
I
of what
sure
happened.
did. Yep, I did. I moved. I became so frightened. It just was a terrible experience for me. Whether those ones was negative, I don't know. I'm
Oh,
not,
they definitely were. They definitely were. I'm actually giving you information because that's what I do. They were negative.
I
They had
appreciate
advanced
it.
spaceship, and the reason why the burn marks and all the life forms disappeared because they had radiation radiating out of their spaceship.
Wow. I
Just
just
you
know
that's what
I
it
went
was.
into deep meditation and prayer, and like I said, I was very frightened. I had dogs. My dogs wouldn't even go outside at night.
Yeah.
But again, I did see these different ships and stuff during the day. But to say which ones was negative, but there was the ones that I seen during the day, I didn't have that effect as much. But the one that I seen that did disappear in front of me, it even affected my TV signal. And I did feel some negativity with it that I literally, to be honest, ran in the house and got my Bible and prayed.
I teach people. We only have positive contacts where we are in New England. Here we have a Ashtar Command contact group. I work with the space beings that are positive. They're about 7 to 8 feet tall. They're men and women. They come from other planets that are human like we are. They're very advanced spiritually and also technically, and their energy is very loving in a Christ consciousness. So I know a lot about this. I've been a contactee since the 60s. I know a lot of things here, so I can usually help people. So I'm glad you moved because that was definitely negative ETs in that specific craft. And that's why there was all that radiation, and that's why there was a burn mark. Now, if a positive spaceship was landing on an area of a field, there'd be no burn marks. That's the difference between the negative ET technology and the positive beings of light. They don't burn the ground. There's no radioactivity coming from the ship.
Wow. I appreciate this validation. I really do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I appreciate you for sharing some of your story. And we're on at 11 o'clock normally in the evening. We do one of the most popular spiritual UFO talk shows on social media. And I'm a talk show host on radio for 20 years on NPR Radio and a contactee. So I appreciate you very much, Cindy, for coming forward with that story.
I appreciate you. I thank you, and much love to everyone.
You too, everyone. Thanks, Cindy, for being here. Please show your support for Encounters. Chesno, if you'll put up the Cash App, Ches is one of my moderators. Can you please put up the Cash App? I do have a Venmo Cash App that you're not aware of. Donations are always welcome. And you can also do a TikTok gifting. That's up to you. So we appreciate the gifting, all the support during the show. It means a whole lot to me. And please do that if you can. You're watching Encounters. We'll be on here for another 15 minutes. This is kind of a short show. Tonight we'll be on for 2 hours on our regular show. And we appreciate all the people. Who else here is having direct contact, either positive or what have you, with the ET area? Please let me know in sentences if you're having direct contact or positive contact as well with space people. This is the time to actually speak about it. Don't be afraid to come on here. We're not going to bite. We treat everybody with respect. People know the type of talk show host I am. Because I'm a contactee, I'm not here to throw people down, so to speak. And welcome everybody to the show. Nessa 77. We'd like to get Nessa up here. Nessa? Nessa has some stuff going on. And Nessa might be, let's see if Nessa 77 is here. Nessa, I think Nessa 77 had some stuff. Nessa, we'd like to bring you on. Yes, you earlier mentioned you had some stuff going on, and we'd like to hear Nessa's story. So Nessa, come on up, unless you're unable to come up. Nessa 77, where are you? Don't be shy. I know you're there somewhere. Mona Lisa. Thank you, Mona Lisa, for joining us. That's a good name. And you're watching Encounters, the morning show. We always have some apple cider at night, and I have some apple cider right here. So we're drinking a small glass of cider this morning. #1 spiritual UFO talk show. Come on in, folks. Join us on Encounters. Yes, come on in. Our studio is all over the world, so find a seat, a couch, wherever you are. Take a seat, whether you're in the Netherlands, you're in Europe somewhere, take a seat and join us. I'll share. Oh, Lox, we'll bring you up there. Let me bring Lox up. Let me see, where are we here? You're my next guest. Lox, welcome to Encounters, hopefully. Just accept the request. All right. Okay, good morning.
Hey, how's it going?
What's going good? And tell us whereabouts you are, Lox.
I was born in Grand Junction, Michigan, and I'm currently in Washington State.
Oh, great. And tell us about your history and your experience for our viewers all over the world.
My experience started back when my brother and I were in diapers. We would go to a double sliding glass door, and above our neighbor's house, is off in the woods, we would see what looked like a star that would move up and down, and we would call our parents repeatedly to come and look at it. So they'd come and look and see nothing, but it was dancing to us. They came back and checked several times, and we got called crazy, if you will. Not too long after that, they my parents like listening to bands like CCR, and they had headphones and headsets and what have you. And my brother was telling me he was listening to an old McDonald's tape through these headsets, and would tell me that he was having experiences, not here, that he bumped the ceiling, or that he was outside, but he was inside seeing himself. He turned his back on that, and I guess I did too for the longest time, but we both have issues with dreams. With our dreams, we can tell people conversations that we weren't there for, scenarios that haven't happened or likely to happen. We focus on it enough to, I don't know the terminology, and I've lived a life with this kind of stuff to where there's people who are exposed to it and people who are not, I guess.
Absolutely.
A couple of years ago, I started getting really heavy into researching this kind of stuff, or trying to, and came into the concept of a program. And I always thought it was kind of neat that if such a program were to have existed, so to speak, that I kind of want to help, right? Like, whether they're positive or they're negative, even though they're doing something negative, is there a positive that comes out of it? So I started attempting to make contact. I started doing the meditation and reaching out, and it wasn't until after I had put myself through.
No, can I say, when you started making contact, did you do it in a way that you were calling in for the positive spiritual beings, or did you just try to make contact in general?
Just in general, whatever would show up. It was sort of like because of what I was experiencing back in the day, and a specific group of people that I was surrounded by with a particular faith. There's a lot of dogma there. So if anything were to reach out, I would need proof of positive or negative. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's really important, because I've been on this journey a long time. I'm a contactee. I had contact with space people and a flying saucer in the 1960s, pre-teen. So when people say they're doing contact, one of the things I'll do is, and just as a pointer, is to make sure you're saying, I wish to have contact with Christed beings, space people of light. That you should be very specific about, because if you just say contact, that opens the door to every single thing out there, and you don't want to do that. I'm just, for future reference, I'm glad you're doing it. Just be more focused on, I would like to make sure I'm contacting Christed beings, space people of light, and only those people, because if you do that, that's going to be a really different frequency of energy. Just to let you know.
Oh yeah. Contact first started as night terrors. The night terrors, I was like waking up and shaking, and when I would wake up, I would see what looked like graffiti that you would see on a train, only they were constantly shifting, constantly moving, and they were tiny. So it would be like in a grid, and it would be these massive grid, all these shaping shift. I don't know what they were, but it always happened after that. Eventually it got to the point where I was trying to like think or speak in that locked night terror sense. And that's when I got like a thundering boom worth of a voice. And that thundering boom was letting me know, like, first and foremost, it said, you are far more loved than you could ever imagine.
Really? That's interesting.
And that's kind of how it started.
So that comment alone was a very positive. Now, was that being telepathically transmitted in your consciousness?
Yes, and it happened right before I got up. Like, as soon as I woke up, like, I went right back into trying to meditate, and that came through, and it came through heavy and hard, and everything about my body was
Yeah. Well, that obviously sounds to me like that was a very high vibrational being telling you that, because if it was negative, they wouldn't say that to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, very true. That's interesting.
as I started going through and like that was the answer to me that I was looking for, whether it be positive or negative, I started pursuing the whole meditation more. I had visited my brother in Michigan and was going through a meditation, and something showed up. It was kind of like a vision. I don't want to say like a telepathic thing or what have you, but it might have even been, I nodded off, I don't know, but a being showed up and it was staring at me like over my shoulder or over its shoulder, and it was wearing a hoodie with black pants, but I could not see its face.
Right.
I kept saying, I want to see you, I want to see you. I want to see what you look like during that, and it shot me all over the place. When I had closed my eyes.
What do you mean it shot you all over the place? What does that mean?
My body stayed where it was, but I was all over the place. If you closed, I have like aphantasia, the lack of the ability to visualize or see something right. So what happened was I had closed my eyes, and it's just black with a little bit of color, depending on how hard you close your eyes. And it went from that perspective of being in the dark to now being somewhere. I'm in a closet, is what it was like. This closet showed a sphere of light, and as that light got brighter, I could see on the other side what looked like a jungle. And someone was running through, and they stopped when they saw it on their side, and we locked eyes. And that was that. We just locked eyes. The next place it shot me was to a grid, and you could like zoom in on it with your phone, how you would with an image on your phone.
Right.
And this grid was showing universes and galaxies, and it zoomed into ours, and it showed me Jupiter, and
So
it showed me a structure.
Do you think the space people were projecting you to these different things to educate you?
I think that might have been it. They're showing me
what it
bits
is.
and pieces.
Yeah. They were projecting
They
you.
showed
I've
me
never
a
heard of this
crystalline.
before. Yeah. Go ahead.
They sent me to rings. There were rings around Jupiter, which was news to me. In school, we were told that Saturn was the only thing that had, technically had rings. But on this, one of the rings of Jupiter was a crystalline structure. I wasn't allowed to go near it. I was only allowed to see it from further out on the rings.
Interesting. Can you come on tonight? Because I know I have to, unfortunately, I usually do longer shows. Can you come on after 11 and join us at 11 o'clock tonight?
I can see what I can do. I'll free up my schedule at the very least, I'll make it in.
Yeah, just like any night, during the week. If you can't do it, that's fine. But we'd love to have you back on because there's so much to your story, and I want to do justice to it. And I won't be able to do it right now because I have to sign out of the show here. So if you pick the night, if you see me on at 11, just say, Commander, I'm here. I can come on. That's all.
All right, absolutely.
Vox, we want to thank you. And what's your first name?
Jamie.
Jamie, thank you so much, man, for sharing. I mean, it's fascinating. And we're going to hear more of Jamie's story sometime this week after 11. So, Jamie, thank you very much, man. It's been a pleasure.
Yep, have a good one, everybody.
All right. Everyone say hello and thank you so much. I wish I had more time, people. I know there's a lot of stories out there. Please join us at 11 o'clock tonight for the larger show, Encounters, the #1 spiritual UFO talk show on social media. Hey, little Leah, good to see you. I always like to tell my audience I love you all, even if I've never met you before. That's the kind of talk show host I am. I love everybody, and I want everyone, whether they're having abductions or no abductions or sightings, I want you to be feeling comfortable enough to come on my shows and talk about your experiences. Because remember, when you speak about your experiences, you are disclosure. Every one of you out there. Every one of you. Nessa, you're in Connecticut too. I'm going to follow you. And Nessa, please join us. We have an Ashtar Command contact group, Nessa. You might want to join us in September 14th. I'm going to make a video about it. September 14th, we're doing a major gathering in Connecticut of the Ashtar Command contact group, or the C5 group. And we are going to come together on a beach in Madison, Connecticut in September to vector in spaceships of light. We're going to be broadcasting on TikTok, my Encounter show, and you'll all be able to see it if you're around the world. So I'm going to be mentioning more and more about that on my show here about the September 14th gathering at in Madison, Connecticut. On the Long Island Sound, we'll be having definitely a live broadcast here, and it'll be Eastern time. We'll tell you more about that as we get into the future. Tonight at 11 o'clock. Oh, good. Johnny, if you can make it, that'd be great, brother. We're going to gather, and it's going to be a great event. So tonight at 11 o'clock, my big show. Please join us. Please share with people that you think should know about the show, Encounters. And once you're watching the show, I guarantee you'll have an addiction to Encounters, and that's not a bad addiction. There's worse addictions than being addicted to my show. So everybody take care. Any last minute gifts before we go? We appreciate it. Thank you. You go to my Venmo account on my main page. My Venmo account is there, the link to it. And you can also do a direct donation if you wish. All right. Everybody take care. Be blessed. We'll catch you tonight. Hey, Cindy, thank you for the gift. I do want to get at least one galaxy. So far, I have 10 galaxies, and I definitely, galaxies do help. If you can provide a galaxy to somebody, please do so. If you got enough TikTok gift, numbers or whatever thing, coins or whatever that thing is, please show some love there. And on that, take care, everybody. We'll see you later. We'll see you tonight at 11 on Encounters, a show that's out of this world. And also check out my YouTube channel, Ashtar Command Spaceship News on YouTube. You can watch all our current shows and past shows on my YouTube channel, Ashtar Command Spaceship News. I got pics if Ashtar ET. It says CCUs. It says I got pics if the Ashtar ET is on my ring, on your ring camera. Okay. CCSUZ59. Join us tonight on Encounters, and we'll probably have you on as a guest. We're going to say goodbye to everybody. Take care. Have a good day and be well.